Happy New Year, dear Leos, and this is your January 2015 horoscope with me, Lada, from Astrolada.com, where you can find out your ascendant sign, its degree, also your moon sign if you don't know it, from my birth chart calculator, because it's always important to check at least your ascendant sign prediction, because the ascendant is the start of your horoscope, is the physical body. The ascendant represents the physical body and your path in life. So whatever predictions is according to the ascendant will be very relevant, not only the sun sign prediction, but you need to know your time of birth for this. And also at my website you can you can ask for advice or consultation from one of the top world astrologers that I've personally observed for years, their work. And I invited them to partner with me, so you have access to other astrologers, to psychics that I've observed for years and whose work I highly respect and whose results have been consistently proven exact in their predictions as well. So they have the stamp of my approval, so to say, and approval of many of my clients. So what does January hold for you, Leos, in 2015 from okay, so the first big news is that Mercury will be starting to go retrograde. It means will stay for about 2 months almost in your 7th house of relationships. And whatever Mercury goes retrograde, this is an area of life that for about 2 months will become more prominent for us, and this is an area which we have to revise, which we have to pay more attention to, which we have to put more skill and effort, organizational skill and effort, more management, more rationality and practicality. And this is about our relationships, business or personal. This is a time over the next 2 months, January and February, when you might be asked to revise certain business partnerships. So if you're cooperating with someone on some work, and to revise if they're the right ones for you, to revise how you're dealing, how you're coping together. Also, you might create new partnerships as well, which will demand a lot of work, which will demand much more attention to detail. You might be signing some contracts as well. You might be signing some important matters, dealing some business matters, because Mercury rules business and 7th house is business. So everyone who is involved in business in any way, whether it's trading, whether it's personal business they have, whether it's working for themselves, or any kind of exchange and interactions with others, business exchanges and interactions, it's the 7th house. So it becomes extremely important 2 months for you, Leos. It shows that you'll be arranging some things for 2 months. You'll be business matters in particular. You'll be having some negotiations for 2 months that you have to be very much on the ball. Put your best skills, your best negotiating abilities. You might be making some business deals, transactions, or some business partnerships as well that are arranging something to do with that. For example, when I had Mercury retrograde in my 7th house, I was in negotiations with a company to invite some of their services on my website, and by the end of the process, it was very hard. It took 2-3 months, but by the end of the process it was a very, very satisfactory and fulfilling process, very satisfactory results. But usually you're demanded to put a lot more work the beginning, the first month or two, basically in January and February, and after that in March you'll start seeing the results of these extra business or negotiating efforts that you put. You might be arranging some documents, some business partnership again, as I said. But 7th house also rules relationships. So you might be having some important relationships, conversations with partners. Especially if your ascendant is in Leo. The sun and the moon to a lesser degree. But definitely there will be some important things that you're trying to decide and agree on together with your partner, whether it's a business partner or your life partner. And Mercury is a planet of, they say, of manifestation. Whenever it gets retrograde somewhere, this is when we can manifest this house. So I've often seen when a Mercury gets retrograde in someone's 7th house, that these people, relationship of course become very important, but they might even bring someone from the past. Someone from the past can come back, can contact you, can get in touch with you, you can renew a past relationship. And it doesn't have to be always a sexual relationship. It can be a business cooperation. It can be partnering on some project. But you definitely can revive even a personal relationship, sexual relationships as well from the past. Or someone from the past, you can get in touch with them again. You can hear from them again. And also you can create new contacts as well. When Mercury stays for such a long time in your 7th house of other people, even if it's going retrograde and forwards again, and first forwards and retrograde and forward again, this is the time when you can definitely create and work closer with others to cooperate on some work. And actually you have much better results now for the next 2 months. If instead of trying to do something on your own, you do it by cooperating with someone, by seeking advice for someone, maybe their skills, their knowledge, or combining together your efforts and going and doing something. Or with your spouse or with your partner, doing some project, working on some project, asking for feedback there. And by the end of this process, you see that you've achieved something much more efficient, much more productive. Your relationships and the way the relationship is going, you'd have rearranged it in some way, and it would be more satisfying for both parties, whether it's a personal business relationships. And this happens through communications and conversations and arranging and managing something. But important month for any kind of business deals, any kind of important 2 months, February as well, business deals, arranging of something of business, arranging of things where you have to use your career skills, your practical skills, your knowledge and information, your communications. And again, remember, pairing with others is more productive for you than the opposite. And than trying to do it on your own. And Venus is also in Aquarius, in your 7th house, for most part of January. So it makes this whole process also enjoyable for you and brings you some satisfaction from this process. But you'll see the result of this hard work that you're required to put in that area, and more attention to detail, and having to rework something a few times, because Mercury retrograde means reworking it 2 or 3 times. It will give its results in March. You'll start seeing the results of this hard work in March. And some things that were not going well in business or in relationships with others will come up to the surface. So you can fix those things, or if you don't want to fix them, you can let go of those relationships, so those contractual, relationships. And you can let go of them, or you can make some important decisions about those people you're cooperating with. But definitely some kind of a turning point is happening here. And you can resolve it by being tactful, by being diplomatic, because Venus is there. If you want support of another person, try to coax it out of them. Don't force them. Don't give them ultimatums. Be diplomatic and charming and communicate and converse with them. This is the way to solve any problems in regards to relationships or business matters for that. Okay, let's see what else is happening. Mars goes into your 8th house, and it will be there for a month and a half, so basically January, February, maybe from the middle of January. And this happens once every 2.5 years, that Mars triggers your 8th house, Leos. And 8th house is a financial house, and Mars is a little bit of a crow planet, so there might be some expenses, there might be a little bit of a financial situation, especially finances that are partnership finances, that are finances that are dependent on other people, or that are in conjunction with other people, say your marriage partner or your business partner, finances that depend on from banks, from other institutions. So first of all, Mars is about being initiative. So if you have to arrange some taxes, some financial matters that are about inheritance, some financial matters that are about mutual resources or mutual finances with a partner, or some loans from a bank, go for it, take the initiative. But at the same time, you have to be careful not to be reckless. And you have to be careful not to, to overstretch yourself, because Mars is not so, the person becomes more impulsive then, and the person can spend, or there can be some expenses that come to you unexpectedly because of other people, or because of your involvement with other people in some way. You might be spending more on your partner, or your partner might be spending more, your partner might need you to spend more on them. But otherwise, you also have the green light to take initiative in those areas, as long as you're not too reckless and as long as you don't take financial risks. If you're going to be arranging some loans, or if you're going to be, working on some taxes or on some business that involves mutual finances and money, tackle it. If there is a problem, face it, resolve it. But don't go for taking big loans. Don't go for overspending or sudden impulse spending as well, because this can backfire with Mars. But Mars also in the 8th house on another psychological level can increase the sex drive, because the 8th house is an intimacy house, but it can also create some power struggles on the intimate level with a partner. But on another level, this definitely deepens the sexuality and deepens the sexual pull between two people. So you can have a chance to, experience a bit more there. And just be careful for some power struggles around the middle of the month, because Mars receives a difficult aspect then from Saturn, some kind of blockages. And do not make financial investment or decisions or activities around the 15th of January. Couple of days before, couple of days after, because Mars in your financial house receives a difficult aspect from Saturn. And this, you can make some mistakes, so financial matters can be somehow blocked, or there might be more expenses that are unforeseen. So this is a bit more risky time around that time. Okay, what else is happening? Those of you, I want to give you some specific days. Those of you who are born with ascendant or moon from 17 till 22 degrees in Leo, they're having a fantastic opportunities. They're having a Jupiter transit. Or basically, if you're born from, 17 degrees, from around 10th to around 15th, 16th of August, the latest, you're having a powerful Jupiter transit in January. Maybe not throughout, but definitely you'll feel it. This means once in 12 years, Jupiter is there. And Jupiter is starting to move backwards. So some project that you started, something you've been working on, it can start really deepening, really blossoming, really kind of developing now, starting to give results. Or even new opportunities can come to you now. Opportunities that you thought you've lost, they can start actually become valid again and start happening. Definitely faith is more internalized, you become more hopeful, more positive, more filled with power and luck. You're definitely lucky. Wealth can expand. Opportunities for wealth. Opportunities for emotional relationships as well, especially if it's your moon there. It can be something to do at those degrees from 17 till 22. It can be something to do with your emotional life and personal life that gets an opportunity, that gets things really happening positively. Or it might be something to do with your home or your family. Your property that really is really happening as you want it to be, joy and happiness coming from those areas. Or if it's your son, basically born from the days I told you, from around the 10th to around the 16th, the latest of August, this can mean that you are receiving some big promotion, or your projects and careers, goals are really starting to blossom, are really happening as you want them to happen. Or even unexpected promotions and opportunities that come, or authority figures might be helping you, or you just feel much more inspired and confident to do something more meaningful, something proper in your life, and you have the chance and you do it now. It's the time, definitely, if you're those degrees. And if it's your ascendant, it's overall in your path in life, things are starting to unfold, and your life is bringing some new opportunities for growth for you. They might be educational, travel connected, anything like that. So this is what I see for you, Leos. Definitely there is a focus a lot on others and relationships and sorting out some business matters and business partnerships and personal relationship and important conversations and negotiations that you have to do there. But if you you know, if you give your best side and cooperate with others, the results will be very fulfilling, and you'll start seeing them from the end of February. Thank you very much.